All right, so red, black, burn. So let's start by talking about how this differs from traditional mono red a little bit. So this deck, as opposed to having a bunch of 1 and 2 mana creatures that are a little bit less expensive, this curve's a little bit higher, but I guess at the same time, these light up the stages and Skewer the Critics are like pseudo 1 mana spells. We've got Dreadhorde Butcher and Viashino Pyromancer as threats in the 2-drop slot, and then Guttersnipe in the 3. I'm not really sure. So I've played Guttersnipe decks on stream a number of times in the past, and frequently Guttersnipe ends up feeling worse than Electrostatic Field, the 0/4 that blocks. And so one of the reasons, let's answer that question. Why is Guttersnipe not War Boss? So War Boss isn't really what this deck is looking to do. So the idea behind playing a burn deck as opposed to traditional red aggro is that all of your stuff is doing damage directly to the dome. So you get to basically just bypass the combat step. And Guttersnipe, or a card like Electrostatic Field, allows us to deal damage without having to attack through inside of combat. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for the 4-month stream, dog. Yeah, I think this is probably too slow on average because there's so much removal in this format that like you have to play this card with 4 lands out to get value out of it a lot of the time, which I think is a tall order. The other thing is this card doesn't really interact profitably inside of combat, whereas like Electrostatic Field is a card that is a meaningful blocker in a lot of positions. So I'm going to go ahead and play some matches with this, and one of the things we're going to want to think about as we play them is how does Guttersnipe compare in the draws that we have lined up compared to what Electrostatic Field would be doing. Motionless Potato, thank you for the 7 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Tutors, thanks for shipping your Prime this way again. I appreciate the Bezo bucks. Yeah, the 0-4 stat line's a big deal. I agree. Watch us queue to someone with Leyline. That would be gross. Would not be a good scene for us. 5th land, not really what we're looking for, but at the same time, one of these lands is going to get to turn into a thing with risk factor, so that's nice. Beat, aggressive, beat, eat, aggressive. Kill your, like a mini Searing Blaze, kill your thing, deal you 1. Yeah, so like think about like what Knight does, how it functions. Like Knight of the Ebon Legion is a card that's interested in getting inside of combat. And the upside to playing this deck as opposed to like Black Red Aristocrats or traditional red aggro is that we're supposed to be able to win outside of the combat step. Now one of the downsides to the way this deck is constructed too is that this deck is not playing anything like Bantu or Experimental Frenzy. So like in games like this where we flood out and don't have a high density of action, we don't really have a catch-up or a comeback mechanic in order to get back into the game, basically. Hey, what's going on, Izzy? Thanks for welcome. Ooh. Alright, so we got some stuff to do next turn at least. Got some friends here. Put it down to 13, kind of at 9, kind of at 7. See if we can pressure them here before they get stabilized. Yeah, so I think you don't quite understand what I mean when I talk about cards like Frenzy and Bantu, TZFG. What those cards do, while you're correct that Angrath is technically a piece of top end, Angrath differs from those other 2 cards I mentioned in a really important way. In the fact that it differs in that it doesn't turn your extra lands into resources. So like with Experimental Frenzy, when you have a lot of lands, you can just play all your lands out and then chain through your deck on a really good turn. Bantu directly turns lands into other cards, etc. I don't know, I think that block's pretty okay. Like, my opponent's deck is, like, likely incredibly favored as the game goes long, so they probably just want to take as many game actions as possible to ensure that the game has a chance to go long. So if they go to 5 here, any deal 3 kills them with the Guttersnipe in play. So we've got that going for us. Worth noting here that in our first game, Guttersnipe ends up being a little bit better than Field because we're flooded a bit. Box of Shoes, thank you for the 3/4 of a year support. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. So we have Risk Factors, Sword Point Diplomacies, Skewers. We notably do not have any Wizards Lightnings in this list, so we don't have that many deal 3s here that kill them off the top, unfortunately. Thankfully, they're playing a ramp deck, and they don't really have a payoff as of yet. That is an excellent draw. That's so awkward. Oh, we do have bites. That's true. Bite would be a lethal draw. And this unfortunately isn't lethal because Dreadhorde Butcher just bounces off an 0-3 and doesn't die. Yeah, I agree. I'm a little sad that the unhinged lands, they put them in the Zendikar border instead of giving them the actual unhinged border. I think the actual unhinged border is a lot better looking. For people who haven't seen that before, this is the normal border that those lands are supposed to have, with the land type written at the top. Just like you actually see all the art. And for those who are about to ask, yes, Jeff owns some paper cards still. Actually, I actually have a bunch of these lands. Should probably sell these at some point. These things are worth a good chunk of money. I have a bunch of these things. 14-year-old Jeff had collected a lot of unhinged lands. The fact that I had them within arm's reach, that's fair. What are the islands go for these days? The islands are always the expensive one, believe it or not. The internet says $9 for the islands. Oh, I was looking up the price and I came back and I didn't have any more creatures. We should have attacked with Butcher to make Shock lethal. Did they not? Did they tap both their Leafkins? If they tap both their Leafkins, you're right. Hey, Kohler, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, this would have been live a second ago, but now we are dead. All right, Ritual of Soot sounds great. I think I cut these Dreadhorde Butchers because they have 0-3s that block them anyways. Bring in a couple of Noxious Grasp and a couple of Ritual of Soots. Rakdos Charm. Rakdos Charm would have been real good there. Man, remember when Splinter Twin was legal and Rakdos Charm was a playable sideboard card in Modern? Hello, wife. Thank you for your monthly donation to Twitch.tv. Yeah, this is fine. I feel like you're using your jargon incorrectly there. What do you mean by turn the corner? Do you mean a way to leverage having lots of extra lands? I think it's probably worse than... I think it's probably worse. Theater is probably worse than Frenzy. Although I guess Frenzy doesn't work well with Risk Factor is something to consider. I'm gonna go ahead and just plan to Risk Factor this turn, and then next turn we can go Bite plus Light Up the Stage. Alright. No gamble, no future, chat. Now we're gonna put old Gutter Boy into play here and hope to get to untap with him. Please don't Entrancing Melody my Guttersnipe opponent. No blocks. Take 2. Light them up. They're on fire. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Do, 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 do. The old... So what do we think? Is this the first time Ritual of Soot's ever been exiled to light up the stage? Do we think there's a possibility? Do we think there's a possibility of that? I feel like there's a distinct possibility that this is the first time Ritual of Soot's ever been exiled by a light up the stage. $10, $11, $12. So they're going to gain 5 here, and then they're going to die to Shock plus Bite. Because this does 4 and this does 5. They're going to be at 9. Alright, Guttersnipe was great here, BT dubs. We were talking about Guttersnipe maybe not being good enough. Guttersnipe was great. 7. Having none of their crap. Yeah, Guttersnipe's definitely much better than Field. Pyrostatic, or the Field that we were talking about in this matchup. Gutterbones did what, like 8 points of damage there? 8 to 10? That was at least 4 or 5 triggers. Huh? I keep this. I feel like I don't. Man, 2-color aggro decks, chat. Let me tell you about my 2-color aggro deck. Close 7 into unkeepable 6 every time. Never not close 7 into unkeepable 6. Okay, Ritual of Soot's a catch-up mechanic. Yeah, we played Orzhov Vampires to start today. It was pretty underwhelming. That deck's just so linear. It doesn't generate a lot of particularly interesting decisions. So I think I actually wait on this Bite, because if I draw any third land next turn, I can go Bite plus light up the stage, which is ideal. They just missed a land drop, right? I think I'm just supposed to do this. I think we're just supposed to do that. It kind of feels bad to lose Guttersnipe there, but like, I'm gonna lose Guttersnipe at some point anyways. We have like 6 points of damage in our hand and they're at 12. Hey, Wop, thanks for the 5 months of support there. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so we're getting the land. That might give us Pyromancer too. I'd probably give us Pyromancer. They might just give it all to us, honestly. Might keep the risk factor away. They don't have that much pressure in play, so risk factor's pretty good. Well, this at least gets to check the Nissa. Although it's a little bit sad because, like, if that had just been, like, a spell that dealt damage to them, they would have been dead here, right? But instead it was a little bit too interactive. This is never getting an attack in, so I'm just going to go ahead and trade here. Yeah, getting to like burn out the greedy ramp deck after just getting dumpstered by greedy ramp playing control is very satisfying. One of the people often ask what's the best way to deal with tilt while playing Magic, and just changing decks or changing formats or changing how you're playing is just such a great way to do it, right? Like, the important thing to remember is Magic's not just one game. It's a bunch of different games that all follow the same rules engine. And really good example of, like, if you're frustrated with one thing but you want to keep playing Magic, like, just change the way in which you're playing. Alright, so I'd imagine in this matchup we're kind of the control deck. But I also think that their experimental frenzies are probably going to bury us in the ground. Yeah, there was actually a there was a blue-red Wizards deck that day 2'd the MCQ weekend, which is sweet. Now, this is a matchup where Guttersnipe is going to be much worse than the 0-4 wall would otherwise be, I think. Yeah, my wife's home today, so the air conditioning's running off and on, Ian. Nothing really I can do about it. I think Temples in their aggro deck is fine. People undervalue how important that scry is. Yeah, our Incidental Life Gate is definitely going to be very good here, I agree. Was that a good top deck, chat? What do we think? Was that a good top deck? If so, why? Please explain. I'd also question the definition of it being a serious hum. It's been something that's been going off and on all day, and you're the first person to mention it. I've also listened back in the videos, and while it's audible if you're really listening for it, it's not really disruptive. Whirly Boy's pretty good here. We'll hang on to that for now, because we can discard it to a risk factor down the line. Yeah. Yeah, with the, between me talking and the, like, it's definitely there. If you look for it, if you really listen for it, you'll hear it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Mr. 3000. It's a little bit of white noise. Hey, Soldier City. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, is this another matchup where I want Ritual of Soot? I feel like I do want the Ritual of Soot, and Guttersnipe is probably out here. Probably just bring in more ways to kill their stuff. This is probably a Theater of Horrors matchup. We're going to go long a little bit one-for-one-ing. Do I want Dreadhorde Butcher in this matchup? I feel like Dreadhorde Butcher is probably going to eat it and die a lot of the time, right? I'm going to board into this more card advantage style game here with some more removal spells, I think. Let's try that. Hey, J-Rec, thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Legion sketches almost all the wizards. Yeah, it misses the important ones, though, right? Like, it doesn't kill Azistal, and it doesn't kill Goblin Chain Roller either, which are their biggest threats. So I think that means it's not good enough. What matchup would Obnixilis come in? I have no idea. Maybe it's supposed to be ones like this where we're being more controlling. I prefer the borderless cards in general to I prefer the borderless cards to the random alternate artwork cards. It's for Nexus. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because it damages them when they draw cards, right? You're playing it as Underworld Dreams. Yeah, it's really sad that there's not a foil Bloodfell Cave. It is my greatest shame. I'm gonna be honest. I've considered playing Guild Gates over the Gain Life lands, if only because they come in borderless. I know, it's rough. It's rough. Feel my pain, chat. I need you to understand how hard things are for me and my bordered Gain Life land. Do I give up 1 point of life so I can have a borderless deck? These are the philosophical struggles I work with every day. I think I want to just do this. Yeah, like, shocking to kill one of these is, like, kind of appealing. But using all my mana this turn is way more appealing. Yeah, they're a little bit more like, their only real wizard synergies are like Azizdel and yikes. So that kills my Chandra, but I can kill their Chandra back. And then do I shock War Boss, or do we Angrath and steal it? I probably want to shock it, because I probably don't want to just lose Angrath after playing it immediately. That's true. Stealing it does give me a 2/2, which is really relevant on this board for sure. It gives me a 2/2 token, chat. The people, chat, for people that, okay, I'm going to show you. For people who don't understand how the magic works. I think this is probably the right play. We get to take it, we make a 1/1, we mentor the 1/1, the 1/1 becomes a 2/2. And then this 2/2 dies. Because it has haste, so we get to attack with it. So this puts them to 13. I can't play these lands because I already played a land for the turn. So they're going to get to kill Angrath on the backswing, but I'm still at 19 and, like, have Theater of Horrors going. So, like, everything that prolongs the game benefits me. Alright. They could have saved themselves 4 points of life by playing that in a little bit better timing. Taking 4 down to 15 here. We'll see what Theater draws here. I don't think I boarded in Ritual of Soot. Wish you could check your sideboard during games. Did I board in Ritual? Hope so. Yikes, they have another Legion War Boss over there. that just another land? A shock, huh? Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I'm gonna activate this and see what we get with Light Up the Stage here. This might be greedy. I've got 2 rituals in my deck to draw to though there, so like drawing a bunch of cards. All right, that's a Sovereign's Bite. So let's start with this. How close to dead are they? They're like relatively close to dead if I ignore their creatures. I don't think I can afford to ignore their creatures though. So I technically could draw cards from Risk Factor, but I think I need to clear the board out here. I think I'm just supposed to go tapped land Sovereign's Bite here. If I don't gain 3 here, Goblin Chain Whirler kills me next turn. Various burn spells, also not a good scene, so I think gaining 3 is the conservative play. This gives me, I have 7 lands in place, this gives me 2 more shots at drawing a Ritual of Soot next turn as well. Because I have enough to pay for, ping them, and then cast the Soot from under the theater. So if they have nothing here, we're going to 6. And still need to hit something live next turn. Down to 8. You have a Spectacle card here. Oh. Alright, so we're going to 2. Dead to Wizard's Lightning. Dead to Shock. Rats! They saw the line, chat. They saw the line. Good games about it. I was gonna let them complete their quest or whatever, but they're taking forever here. Alright, they got us. How we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. If you're a new viewer, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic full-time here on Twitch. I'm here 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you enjoy constructed Magic, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks, and usually we change decks every 60 minutes to 2 hours, so you have a lot of variety in what I stream every day. As always, I'd love to give a shout out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day and out without their support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed. I'd also like to plug a couple of my wonderful sponsors here really quick. The Vitamin String Quartet creates unique instrumental string arrangements, everything from Zelda to Zeppelin, and they would love to underscore your next gaming session. You can find them streaming now on services such as Spotify and Apple Music. inkedgaming.com. We'd love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mousepads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artwork they already have on their website. And of course, Whoa Duels is an online peer-to-peer wagering platform where you can play other gamers on Arena for money. You get some free coins just for signing up, and they also do daily free tournaments as well as monthly giveaways there as well.
Don't make your life garbage time. Join us in Hoaglandia today by subscribing to Jeff Hoagland with Twitch Prime today.
Jeff is great. Buy his stuff. Thanks for the biddies, Top Toe. Let's head on into our next match here with the Burn deck. You ordered some Gummy Fun Mix from yesterday? That's great. I think I'm gonna actually dig into my remaining sour gummies here. Well, 0-3s are pretty good against our 2-power dorks, so. Any Twitch bodies coming up? I believe the board is currently clear. Last I checked. Oh, that's a lie. There's one up there for the Overwatch League. Maybe we'll do that at some point. Overwatch is sweet. I've actually watched a little bit of their league before. Declan actually likes watching Overwatch. He watches me play sometimes. He has a little bit of a hard time with the controls himself, but he likes watching the game played. What's the best Gummy Fun Mix? I'm a big fan of the sour mix is the fan favorite in my house. Both my kids and my wife and I all like that one the most. All right, second Guttersnipe. Let's do it. The sword point diplomacy is going to be lit next turn, chat. Usually take butchers out in this matchup. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I think we just want to get as many triggers with Guttersnipe as possible here, so let's fire these off before we Angrath, I think. Are they dead? I don't know, maybe. Wow, they gave us shock with double Guttersnipe in play. Lebo, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub and for the 10th month at that. Be sure to take a peek at the deck queue and let me know what you'd like to bump up and see a little bit sooner. To be fair, that could have been a misclick. The interface isn't super clear on that usually. Thanks, Lebo, I appreciate it. Legion End seems great here. I think I want the Theaters and the Chandras. I don't know that I want Ritual of Soot. Reaver, it's fitting that I just turned 30 and have spent 1/10 of my life sub to this guy. How far we've come from Kiki to Yarak. Thanks for all the good stuff. Thank you for the 36 months of Prime, Reaver. Hope life is treating you well. You'd rather watch CSGO than Overwatch? Yeah, I like the variety in Overwatch. The dynamics of the characters is a lot more interesting than the dynamics of just the different weapons in Counter-Strike in my old age. Also, I can play characters in Overwatch that don't require me to aim. So, in terms of games that I actually can play, I enjoy playing Reinhardt. That's been the character I've been playing the most recently. Reinhardt's my go-to. I like playing characters that can heal too. Yeah, I don't know that I want Ritual of Soot in this matchup. This is a mulligan, just doesn't do much, right? Yeah, singing sweet. I think I'm gonna bottom the risk factor here. Yeah, Sigma, you like kinda have to aim, and his attack doesn't have that good of a range on it. I know I was a huge fan of Sigma, really. I just want to like put my shield up and have it stay right in front of me. So I think we probably strike. Actually, I probably sword point diplomacy, huh? Let's start with that and see where we go. I'm gonna 3-mana Chandra. Can I have this? Maybe. So the reason why I would think 3-mana Chandra might not be good is because 3-mana Chandra, we don't have good ways to protect her a lot of the time. Is an issue. Hey, Gecko Pirate, thank you for the 3 months of support. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Let's start with this and see how it goes. It's not terrible. Hey, Crunk Kid, thank you for the 3-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Tried Grixis Controller on 3-mana Chandra, and it was funny and sad. Six mana is a lot for a deck like this. I know we've gotten there in a few games, but generally we don't want cards that expensive flunking up our hand, I don't think. We're getting pretty close to them being dead, huh? Yeah, 6-mana Chandra has a little bit of flexibility built into her too, which is nice though. So this puts them to 9. So this basically means this is drawing 3 cards, which is sweet. Because if this doesn't draw 3 cards, these kill them. So I'll probably lead on risk factor next turn. I'm going to go ahead and trade this off for the 2/2, I think. I feel like they're being a little bit too conservative not attacking with these. Legion's End's a decent pickup. So this was actually my plan all along. I only decided to play Sultai Yarok in that last tournament because I wanted to play this burn deck into it on stream and be good against it. So that's the long con chat. Gotta farm that gold in the events. Actually, let's just no blocks here because I get to Legion's End and then attack for 2 next turn, right? I have a few draws that kill them next turn. Wow, their land gained a life. What cheating? Hacks. I guess I should technically do this first. They have double trophy. Yep. Okie doke. So they're dead to what's in our hand next turn. We get to go gutter strike stage. So they're really hoping to hit a life gain land here. I miss having times to tune in, but I have sub money and your YouTube provides good bedtime stories about 26 lands later. Thanks for keeping me around, Corluski. I appreciate the support. Hope your Thursday is finding you well. Thanks to our copy of Legion's End, it looks like they're going to end up being one turn slow here. Puts us to 2-1. More ramp decks, please. Please continue feeding me ramp decks, Q. More people who have registered Growth Spirals and Cavalier of Thorns. Arboreal Grazers. All of them belong to me. Seems alright. Well, that's the start you love to see. So, playing the Pyromancer is worse against Cry of the Canarium, but it's better against Legion's End. And Legion's End is a little bit more popular than Cry in main decks right now. Is this deck supposed to always go face? Well, like most good questions in Magic the Gathering, the answer is it depends. A lot of factors. Basically, the question you want to ask yourself in a deck like this is, pointing a removal spell at my opponent's creature going to allow me to deal more damage than that spell going to their dome would do. Legion's End takes cards out of your hand that match the name that are in play, Drekken. So if they Legion's End my creature in play and I have a copy in my hand, I lose the one in my hand. So I think the odds of Guttersnipe triggering in this matchup are pretty low, so I want to cut those. I want to bring in Theater and Chandra and the other Obnics for sure. Do I want Dreadhorde Butcher? I think I do. I think I want this. Trim Skewer, maybe? Yeah, this deck's definitely interesting. The ability to pivot into, like, a more controlling shell is interesting. Little bits of the small amount of black cards give you a lot of interaction that you wouldn't otherwise have in a straight aggressive deck. I know you have a month or so until you need them, but I've seen a few complaints on Reddit that the new in-game currency purchases don't work correctly on Mac because of incompatibilities with why. I should actually be covered on that because of the in-game currency that I appreciate the heads up, but I should be covered because I have almost $100 worth of gems now, and I'm getting like another $100 worth of gems from the MCQ. So I think I should be good. I do also have a Windows computer in my house. My backup streaming system is a Windows computer, in case WotC ever irreversibly breaks something and I can't stream. I have another system that I can stream from. Yeah, it's good that they're gonna bring native Mac support. I'm not gonna hold my breath for native Linux support. We're usually treated like third-rate citizens by most gaming companies. They said native OS X support is coming this fall, or this winter. If you're running using Parallels on your Mac right now, you should definitely give Wine a try. Wine is far less resource intensive than a virtual machine. Wine is not an emulator. The only overhead, you're dual booting Windows. That sounds miserable. Other than their update tool, the application, and maybe buying currency, I guess now. Previously, buying currency worked. Actually, one question is, I wonder if they're gonna have a Mac client that doesn't run through. So the Epic Store is gonna be optional. So it's coming to the Epic Store, but using the Epic Store is optional. But I wonder if the Epic Launcher will be optional for Mac users, or if they're gonna maintain their own OS X installer as well. Thank you for the quality content, but going through a rough period, your channel's got me a lot of laughs and exciting games. Thanks for the 7 months, Ferrets. Hope things take an upswing for you. Gosh, that's rude. 3 damage spell. 3 damage spell.
Trust me, I have a plan.
All right. The NVIDIA GeForce thing is basically you're basically streaming the game online, right?
Here we go.
Papi! That sounds like a lot of effort. It runs well through wine. For people who aren't familiar, if you're thinking about, well, Jeff can't be right, it can't possibly run that well through wine. For people who aren't familiar, I do 100% of my streaming from a Linux computer, and pretty much all of the arena you see me play on stream is being played through wine. I played the MCQ through wine last weekend while we were streaming. It all just works great. Yeah, I have it. Lutris is a wrapper for wine right now. Wine doesn't have a performance overhead on Unity games on Bantwin. It runs just as well or as poorly as it does on Windows. So like the fact that my computer is like absurd doesn't change the fact that it runs well through wine. In fact, if a computer is capable of running this application through Parallels, it's going to run it even better through wine because there's less overhead than you have through Parallels. When you're running something through Parallels, it's emulating an entire operating system. The Steam streaming thing is really slick. I've done that through the network. I've streamed games from this computer to my netbook computer, my Lenovo Yoga. It works really well. I was actually really impressed with how well it worked. It even streams wine games through Steam with no issue. Really slick technology. Have I tried the mobile app? Mobile app for what? Steam Link. No, I've not. I don't really have any desire to try and play my Steam games on my phone.
This isn't a fight you can win.
Gross, they get to bounce Oath.
Might be a bad idea.
Yeah, I definitely could play this on my phone. Whether or not I want to is another question, though. I think I want to kill Teferi here. My opponent's deck with 4 Oath and 4 Teferi to bounce the Oath is probably going to give us a hard time if I had to bet. So, like, they're at 11, they're at 6, they're at 9, which is just, like, a lot of damage I have to do still. So close and yet so far away. I'm all alone, there's no one here beside me. I'm gonna hold on to this shock for now so it can enable Spectacle if we draw a Spectacle card. The chains across the screen are the Spectacle animation, while there's a Skewer the Critics in our hand. For those that are new to Magic, the Spectacle animation is only present on your screen, your opponent does not see it. So it doesn't, like, give away to your opponent that you have a Spectacle card in your hand. Main deck Bellhaunt. Are we dead? Feeling pretty dead. They don't have a veto, I guess. Alright, get a little bit lucky here. It's the part where they play 3-mana Teferi, pick up Oath, replay Oath. Yeah, Bolas's Citadel resolves. Alright. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Upstairs. Upstairs. Almost every spell in our deck is lethal at this point. Risk factors are draw 3s. There we go. I'm gonna play these lands out now since our risk factors are guaranteed to be draw 3s. I might as well play my lands out. Oh no. Oh no. Life gain is cheating, chat. Life gain is cheating. We were so close. We were so close. Baby rage, baby rage, baby rage. Our deck has done more than 20 damage. It probably got tired. Yeah, what did they gain this game? They gained 12 here and they're at 7. Vomit. Good line by the opponent there. The old gain 15. Yeah, I could see Tibalt being good in our sideboard for sure. Oh yeah, you're right. Tef picked up an oath. Good catch. You're right. Free Deathrite Shaman. Never ever. Thank you for the 18 months tag. Nah, I think his floor is just too high, Moon Pie. Baby Teferi's not a powerful threat. He's just like a good utility card, and his casting cost is cheap enough that it's really hard. You probably don't want to play in a format where Baby Teferi's not playable. The things that would have to be going on to make Baby Teferi unplayable would be pretty disgusting. Yeah, this deck would play the crap out of Rampaging for Asadon. Just like get in there. He's playable in Modern, to be fair. Don't Legions End me, don't Legions End me. Just Tyrant Scorn, deal. Perfect. Where did Baby Shark come from? The internet, I assume. Yeah, Baby Tef's probably great in Legacy. I'd believe that. Picking your Stoneforges back up. You can bounce your Batterskull too without having to pay 3. It makes it so people can't force you back. Wow, this is about to be really good, huh? I think I just cashed this in, right? Divination, go.
Try not to think too hard.
It was an old camp song, isn't it? I think you're right, Beetle. That is totally an old camp song. Send the cards directly into my veins. Send the cards. I have new respect for Obnixilis here. Wow, he drew 4 and dealt. He's drawn 4 and dealt 2 damage. Newfound respect for this card. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Too bad I cashed all mine in already. Shisha. All right. Had all these. the old full control flex. Get him with the double spell. Hit him with the pocket sand. We're so far over the line, I can't see the line anymore. I summon my lightning bolt in attack position. Just get him. In. Have you seen the videos online of the voice actor for Dale Gribble recording as Dale in person? He sings an entire song for a couple getting married at Slayers. I've not. Alright, deal one to you. Trigger. Oh, really? Are we getting cried? Does it smell like cried? Anybody else? Cry or Legion's End here? Sweet. My hand's pretty good. Oh, and it got better, chat. Rude. Puppy! As you will, opponent. That is your decision and you're allowed to make it.
This isn't a fight.
Top 10 Hammer, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Broken 06 match streak last night at my LGS and celebrating with the resub today. Thank you. Thank you for the 2 months. Oh, just give me them sweet Magic the Gathering cards, chat. I wonder if they have like a Citadel and they like want to save their life total to like use the Citadel. All right, I'm gonna 6 them here. And then I'll end step Risk Factor again. Hey, thanks for the 3/4 of a year, Last Chance. I appreciate it. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that's true. Citadel shouldn't be in their deck. This deck is very viscerally satisfying to play. You're just like, Domu. Yeah, this Risk Factor being like a playable Punisher card's like a pretty big deal. It's like the first one of those. Sequencing here is bad, but it's like whatever. Man, where's my 3rd Risk Factor at? There we go. This is kind of like Risk Factor number 5 too. Don't tell my opponents to stop letting us draw cards. I love drawing cards. Drawing cards is my favorite. It's my favorite thing, chat. It's my favorite thing. Maybe they're on the mill plan. These are a few of my favorite things. Whee! Wow! Thought you were my friend, opponent. Wow, I think their plan is to actually try and deck us. I don't know that it's a good plan, but I think that might actually be their plan. How is Narset? Gosh, don't ask me about Narset, okay? I don't want to think about it. Man, who do you think the control deck is? Whee! Return target creature to its owner's hand. That's incredibly rude. Believe it or not, their plan of letting us draw with every risk factor did not work out for them. Believe it or not, that was not. All the choices with risk factor are bad for you. We should have played up next to draw more cards. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Without a good way to pressure us, like, we probably are pretty well off in that matchup. That style of matchup. Turn 2 Butcher on the play. Let's go. Oh, put up Mulligan 2/6. Yeah, that was just good, clean living. 2 moves. Rude. Alright, I'm just gonna offer this trade, I think. Searing Blazer Elf seems fine. Love to draw an untapped land here so we can go Pyromancer in to light up the stage. Look at him ready to burn, chat. He's ready to burn. They missed a land drop, so I'm just going to go ahead and kill this and attack for 2, I think. Ba-bee! Yeah, this one is likely the deck of the day. Land. Ding, ding, ding. Light them up. They're on fire. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Shock me some more, puppy. You know just what I like. Are we done here? Are we done here? I think we're done here, chat. Oh, never lucky. Yeah, gotta savor it. Gotta enjoy the flavor. Alright, so their Hydroid Crisis deck. Cloudkin Seer. It's a Ritual of Soot matchup. They had Lava Coil in their main deck. How do we feel about pivoting off of the creatures and turning into a sweeper deck again? I kind of like how that's played out. Is Obnix good? Yeah, I guess he kills their thing and does some damage to them. That's probably fine. I kind of, the way this deck's been playing out in some of these post-board games, I almost feel like I'd rather have, I almost feel like I want, like, Rituals 3 and even possibly 4 in the sideboard. I feel like this plan of, like, board out Guttersnipe and Butcher and, like, just be a burn control deck seems kind of neat. It's been working out okay. You weren't that impressed with Theater. See, I actually thought Theater was pretty good there. Like, I know it hit a bunch of lands, but, like, if you think about what the Theater was hitting there, and nothing would have been really that impressive, because, like, the Theater powered us through a bunch of lands. Let's see if they have old Cheeto fingers here or not. Just a risen beef. Oh, I should have attacked there, right? Yeah, I should have attacked there. There's a chance they don't block. I hit my auto pass key too soon. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty big mistake. Missed a 2-ball. I either missed 2 points of damage or missed denying them a card. And both of those would have been good things to do. What's our plan against Leyline of Sanctity? Weep quietly. No, that's a lie. I don't weep quietly. Ugly, loud crying. Yeah, exactly. See, you get it. The ugliest, loudest of crying. Was risk factor worse than our average run there? I think so. Like, they're still at 16. I did not play against Keith's combo in the MCQ. Now I kind of wish I had the other risk factor still. Because the next risk factor is going to draw 3 cards. We're going to hold on to that for the next risk factor. He says as he draws another. Papi! Oh, it's so good. So good. Do 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 beep 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 do 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 do. This was a viewer submission, so like most of the things on the stream, this was something that one of our wonderful subs at home sent in. Let's take a peekaboo. I liked a lot of what this deck was doing. Should have killed the board first, right? Listen, look at all that sweet gold that we made. Thoughts and feelings on what was going on here. I liked it a lot, actually. I felt like we had a good mix of aggression game 1 and then interesting different board plans post-board. I kind of feel like I'd like to lean into the post-board plan of like having things that generate card advantage and sweepers a little bit better. Like I feel like I'd like another Ritual and another Chandra in the sideboard. Maybe at the cost of like these Lava Coils or like some of these Legion's End perhaps. Depending on what you really want to beat. Lava Coil's kind of a card that's like fallen out of favor in the format a little bit. Like there aren't a bunch of Rekindling Phoenixes running around like there once were, making it good. So I think I'd probably try that. Because like basically the post-board plane we were doing in a lot of these games were like we were cutting Guttersnipe and these Butchers and then just like turning into like a control deck with a bunch of these and these sweepers that then eventually burned them out by drawing cards with Risk Factor or Theater or Chandra. So I liked what's going on here. It was a neat, very different take on an aggressive shell in this format. Very easy deck of the day material. Worth going back to watch if you didn't catch all of it. All right, we're gonna roll on into some 4-color elementals here up next. Lava Coils for vampires. Yeah, I could see that. They have a lot of X4s.